Happy Monday. Welcome back to the Wolff Den presented by Win Again Academy. I'm Matt Wolff, founder and CEO of Ticket Time Machine. Today we have John D'Esposito in the Wolff Den. John, welcome. How's everything going?
I'm excited to be in the Wolff Den. That's how it's going. I'm excited, man. This is fun stuff.
Yeah, we're going to talk. We're both Jersey guys, so we're going to talk about Jersey and we're going to talk about music and music festivals. For those in the audience who don't know who you are, just give a quick introduction and then we'll get into it.
My name is John D. I guess I've created the Bamboozle Festival. I've done concerts my whole life, and we're bringing some cool events back like PopCon and Bamboozle, and the office here. Everybody's so excited.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are, and it's kind of good timing. With I don't want I guess I'll ask you this first. When I saw the Bamboozle back in the day, it was kind of like people think of it as kind of a Warped Tour type experience. Is that fair? Is that something you like to be compared to? Is that something that you don't like? Because with Warped Tour ending, I think there's a couple things out there, a couple tours and some touring festivals that are out there, but I think the market is still lacking something kind of like the Bamboozle, which is I think it's good that it's coming back.
Yeah. So like when we started doing festivals, it was like kind of inspired a little bit by the Warped Tour. The truth of what happened that really set the ball in motion was, as a young fan, I went to the Warped Tour in Asbury Park, and I waited online for 3 hours, and I was there to see Eminem. And be it that the Warped Tour didn't put set times up, I missed Eminem, so I had to sit there the whole day and be mad at the fact that I didn't get to see what I wanted. And from there, at that point, some of those younger bands that were on the Warped Tour, were selling out the Birch Hill and, Hunka Bunka, as it was called, Club Chrome. So when we got so big, it was like, hey guys, I can't put you in the trade winds. You're not big enough to do 2,000 people, I think, in Asbury. So we're like, why don't we just package all of these young bands, starting with Taking Back Sunday, Brand New, and who was it? It was Newfound Glory. Sorry, the most important one, my boys. They were the ones that really brought it home. But that's how it started over a bad experience I had at another festival. And do we like to be compared to Warped Tour? Absolutely not. We have a couple of the same bands, but they don't take the risks that we do. They don't throw Wildcats into the game and throw MC Hammer up, and so we were in our own little world. And now that the truth is that we wanted to come back for years. We were just tied to a contract and a deal with the trademark with Live Nation.
Yeah. So I guess I'll hit on that a little bit, because you came back sort of with a vengeance on social media, and it kind of seemed like there was some anger in there, which understandably, we don't need to get into the weeds of it, but you're back, and you're ready to go and to hopefully give the fans what they've been craving for many years.
Yeah, it's nice to be back. I never truly disappeared. Like, I just didn't want to do shows. I needed some mental health break from promoting concerts after that terrible Rock Carnival hurricane. But I wanted to come back, and our social media kids were blowing up, and we did tours and we did stuff to stay active, but they're not they weren't like full tours around the country, and really nobody knew who they were, and we were doing hotel ballrooms. So I was involved behind the scenes in a lot of the rise of your social media stars from the MagCon. I did all the MagCon boys. I did all the Digi tours. I did DigiFest, and I represented probably about 6 to 8 kids for over 3 years. And then it was time to switch back because we knew Bamboozle was coming home.
Yeah. So before Bamboozle, so Bamboozle's set to come back in 23.
Correct.
But
That's
now
true.
you have PopCon X, which is going to be 22 in New Jersey. And tell us about that.
It's like pop music has changed for over the last 5 years. When One Direction kind of left it kind of didn't seem like there were boy bands. Yeah, there was Justin and Shawn Mendes, but they weren't boy bands. Like you know, there's a couple now that they'll never get the traction because the boy band business has changed. And we started with Bieber and Selena, and that was a mixture people didn't think would work as well as it did, and it did. So when we're coming back, we have to look at who's the next pop star. Well, in my opinion, the next pop stars, and they have been for the past couple of years, is going to be playing their instruments. And that's kind of what we thought Jaden brought to the table was, his social media presence makes him this big social media star, but in the end, he's trying to be a rocker and he's doing very well at it. And I don't think there's a person right now that's buzzing as high as Jaden is in both pop and a little bit crossover to the teeny bop.
Which is a huge market. I was at the Jonas Brothers last weekend, I think, and just still a ton of screaming, teenage, mostly girls, I guess. But I enjoyed the show. There's music that I like there that's not just the teeny bopper. So it's good. You could have someone who can kind of hit a little bit of everything, and it kind of brings in a greater audience.
Absolutely. And, I started the Jonas Brothers. I mean, we found them in basically a church, brought them up. And part of the deal and why we had to go to Live Nation was because I was going to lose them. And my first priority when I got to Live Nation was not Bamboozle, it was signing the Jonas Brothers. So
So a lot of
Bamboozle. They played Bamboozle for like 3 years, I think.
the Jonas Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, I think Jess, was it 2 or 3?
Yeah, it's six.
Yeah, 2000s. No, it was more than one. Oh, well, yeah. So it was definitely more than one because I remember the two of them have different endings to their sets.
So the Bamboozle Festival started out at the Stone Pony, which for those who don't know is just an iconic music venue in Asbury, New Jersey. So a small type event which grew into the parking lot at the Meadowlands. What's the biggest difference in putting on a festival that starts out small and that ends up? I mean, that's a huge parking lot. It's a huge production when you talk about the being at the Meadowlands. What's the biggest difference in those two?
Um, I mean, I always believed in developing from within. And that's the process that we used, and that was the philosophy that we preached, and it was the path we followed. It was always developed from within, and that opportunity, where Taking Back Sunday and Brand New were really ramping up, and then My Chemical Romance was coming, and they brought with them Linkin Park. And we Bamboozle had to put that tour together. Nobody gives us credit, but that tour with My Chem and Linkin Park was myself, the agent of My Chem, the manager, and then the manager of Linkin Park and the agent of Linkin Park. It all stemmed around Bamboozle, and Linkin Park gave us a couple demands. And they said, the one was, you have to get My Chemical Romance to tour with us. I said, oh, that might be hard, but we crossed that one off. They said the second one is to pick the best opener for us. And we were like, oh boy. And so we brought up Weird Al Yankovic. And they loved the idea. And everybody was like, and the agent from Weird Al Yankovic goes, I'm either going to be a hero or I'm getting fired tomorrow. So, it's fun to see the festival develop and see the bands that did it. Coheed and Cambria was, they were there eating Dunkin' Donuts out of catering because they didn't have money to eat the first year. Like Taking Back Sunday, obviously the fight, the breakup that happened at Bamboozle. The My Chemical Romance, their last performance before their, was Bamboozle. Blink 182, Bamboozle. So, we do have a little history of breaking bands up, but at least we get a set from them. Except for Blink.
Then you can have the reunion. They can
Yeah,
come
no,
back
we
and
got,
have the reunion.
I think we're working on some cool reunions. You're crazy.
Yeah. Did that happen? The Linkin Park and Weird Al and My Chemical Romance?
Oh, it happened, baby.
Because we just, first of all, Weird Al's birthday was on Saturday. He's 62, I think. I had a guest on the Wolff Den last week who has a craft beer and Weird Al Yankovic podcast, which was it's a great show. I encourage you to watch her show, but also watch the episode. And I think, Weird Al, to not have Weird Al in the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame is, I don't know if there's a bigger snub right now. And I'm not on top of everyone who's not in it yet, but to me, it's just incredible the career that he's had and the type of hits and perform and to watch his show live it's a performance. It's not a concert. It's a performance. So if anyone out there hasn't seen Weird Al, definitely go and see him.
Yeah, but that, I didn't know what they were going to say when I had to do that. Like, I had to go back and their agent was like, "So who'd you pick?" And I'm like, "Weird Al Yankovic." And it was just silence on the phone for like a minute. And he was like, I don't know. And I'm like, "Well, they said to do it, so we did it." And Weird Al agreed. They agreed. Lincoln Park loved it. They loved it. They made us ride the golf cart so they could see it, and then we had to transport them back about 15 minutes before they were ready to go on.
Yeah, you can't go wrong adding Weird Al to your tour, I would think.
No.
I want to talk a little bit about the music festival business, the touring business, and because I think people don't understand, what all goes into putting something like this together. And you started out smaller, right? And then you go and you're under the Live Nation umbrella, and now you're back to being independent. There's a lot of red tape and just stuff that needs to go on, and you got to deal with agents and management companies. And so how do you navigate through all that if you can't kind of do everything that you want to do as you're under someone else, as opposed to now it's kind of like, this is our thing, we're going to do what we want to do.
No, that's a great point. Yeah, it's what we have to do, and it's moving it forward as much as we want to look at our past and celebrate that. We're still gonna have to move this thing forward. As like it's since COVID, it's like a whole new industry. Everybody was gone for a year, so even though I was gone for 3, it felt like I just came back with everybody else, and I saw my industry get destroyed, and tried to figure out what was the best way to navigate through this. And a festival like Bamboozle, especially where it left off with, we left off with the Foo Fighters, Mac Miller, Incubus, Skrillex. I mean, we were landing a spaceship on the stage, I think, for Skrillex. Then we got the Bon Jovi incident. We had Blink 182. Then we had to switch them out with Brand New. That was Brand New's last performance. So these things take a while. And now when you've been off for 10 years, the agents remember it and the bands remember it. But there's only going to be so many kids at this age, and they're not kids anymore. They're, probably in their 30s now. And so we want to celebrate our past, but we do have to move it forward. And that's the most important thing, because again, we're following our process was develop from within, which we're going to continue to do, program a unique pop laced event. And that's what we did. And we went a little rock on and rap on the way to the end. We were relying more on, a rock band and a rapper, whether it was Drake, whether it was Lil Wayne, or God, people don't even remember the side stages, of the B-Boy Arena. Machine Gun Kelly was there. I mean, you had Kendrick Lamar, you had Big Sean, you had, oh my God, what's his name, Tyler the Creator. I mean, everybody started there, and that again is what makes this thing so much more challenging. Is the situations have changed with locations and venues, and where we believe the best destination would be not only for the new kids we're going to be reaching, but making it as comfortable and experience laden for the older demographic of fans who have been with us for the 10 years.
Yeah, we had, so I don't know if you know Rishi from Four Chord Music Festival, but he does a great job of
Yeah,
adding
yeah,
experience to the. He had a wrestling exhibition, skateboarding exhibition there, and so with PopCon X, it seems like you are making that mix between. Hey, it's not just going to be a music festival, because music festival, it's great. I love music festival. I also want to do something a little bit different and have that experience, so you can watch something that's going on here while also listening to some great music that's in the background, and doesn't have to be everyone just crowding up to this one stage because that band is playing.
yeah. Well, PopCon's location this year, we had a great location with Nassau Coliseum, and underneath it had the exhibit hall, and we used that to the fullest. So with PopCon, when we were bringing it back, we didn't want to come so big. We were like, yo, let's play it safe and stay in our lane, and our lane is 3,000 to 4,000 people. And that's what we programmed to. But we took over the campus of Toms River North High School. It's one of the nicest arenas in all of New Jersey. It's just in a high school. And for PopCon, our demographic won't be driving. So, we wanted to play somewhere where, we don't have to worry about alcohol sales. We don't have to worry about a bar or concessions this is just let the bands and the kids experience something that they haven't had or experience. It's like, right now this thing is like the Warped Tour for pop music, because it's got a little bit of edge to it. We have pop stars who play their own instruments now.
Yeah, I
And
had some
then we
great.
have Ray Shemmerd. I don't know if you know who they are, but I started with them in 2000 and probably 17. They, they had the Black Beatles, and they had, was that the Pose one? The Mannequin Challenge. That was them. I mean, these kids, and now Sway Lee is just a hit machine. So as you're looking to pop, you can't. In the past, you would never be able to put hip hop in pop and in pop. But now, if you don't have hip hop, you don't have pop. And that's the same thing with Bamboozle. What hip hop are we going to go for in 2023? Who's going to be there? We know we have metrics already, and offers are into the younger ones that we know have a very high projectile. And those are the ones that have offers right now for Bamboozle.
Well, if I could put in a request, I would have NF there. He's my one of my favorites right now. I love what he's doing. We talked a little bit. I talked to a bunch of people in music, and every time we have on, there's kind of like there's almost not no genres anymore, but it's like why do we have to label something and not just be, because there's so much collaboration out there. Almost every pop song does have a rap hook to it, and even there's a lot of country and hip hop. Is that what the future of music is? It's just, hey, we're putting this out there, and we don't really need to call it anything, that people like it.
It's funny because it's such a different day. Back in the day when I was younger, the only way you got popular was being on radio, and that limited only 100 bands were spun, and that was the way to do it. And then all of a sudden, as the streaming came in and opened up more demographics, more genres, more alternatives, more countries took over pop. probably right after Bamboozle, it started to swing that country was, and probably in about 2015, country was becoming the pop, right? Everybody was breaking from Taylor Swift to, Lady Antebellum, and they were all Florida Georgia Line was rapping with Nelly, so they were taking over. And then I remember doing an interview with the Asbury Park Press, and they were asking me what's the future of music, and at that point I had to tell them it was hip hop,
Yeah.
and I stand to it now. I think I called it, because I would say, if you looked at how many top 40 bands are against how many hip hop artists, guess what? The hip hop and pop artists are going to win.
The Bamboozle Festival, you had a contest and asked people to submit their lineup. I submitted mine. What's the status of that? Tell me some ridiculous entries that you got from there.
Oh, that's a good one. Jess, do you have a Jess? I'm gonna bring her over. She does. She reads. Here, come on over, Jess. What's that? No. He wants to know the craziest. Who is the craziest name?
I think some of the craziest ones are more of the pop. So we see Britney Spears, Lady Gaga, Dua Lipa, Harry Styles, who I personally would love to see. So I'm
Yeah, of course.
that. I think Britney Spears might be a reach, but we'd love to have her if they'll let her come.
Yeah, we get like, we get some characters. Like, one of the best ones we had is from The Poet. Mm-hmm. Right? What did he do? The Poet. This guy, Gregory Schwartz, the guy that's got onto Rolling Stone magazine from Bamboozle. He sent a great submission list. What was it?
It was just his name every single time.
And the Grateful Dead.
And the Dead.
Yeah, and the
Grateful Dead or Dead and Company?
He wanted Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Well, you never know, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, you'll have to give me some feedback on mine. But when you construct a festival like this, everyone looks at the headliners.
Pull up Matt Wolff's real quick. Yeah.
Everyone looks at the headliners, which is great. We want big headliners. But what makes a festival, I think, is what's underneath that, because you're going to get the majority of people who want to come to see this and see those acts. So how headline heavy is Bamboozle going to be? How many people are going to be performing at Bamboozle that already played? How many new artists? What's your vision for 23?
That's a great question. We're going to be headliner heavy. And we, from where we are right now and looking forward, we're going to be very headliner heavy. But, the side stages, because what happens is we know that we're going to, spend a majority of our budget on, our headliners. And, it's the medium bands, like the guys like NF, that don't make the cut because, they're rightfully priced at where they want to be, but we're limited on how much we can budget each slot. So, there's like your top three, and then there's a significant drop. But the drop, that middle portion of the lineup, is what has always been our nucleus. So you're right when you say, hey, how much buzz is going to be in the middle? A lot. How much history is going to be there? A lot. But the headliners are going to be bigger, and a couple of them are going to surprise people, I think.
This is his.
Oh, we have yours. Let me see. I'm going to read yours. Geez, I like a lot of yours. You called Jax. I think you picked up on that one. You got number 4 right.
I don't even remember. I don't even think I have a copy.
I know, but you got number 4 right. You got number 8. You're doing pretty good, man.
Not too bad.
Well, Rusted Root. Why would you say Rusted Root?
I have no idea. Just a band I like. They're fun.
Okay. I'm just saying they're they're a commercial band, but
yeah,
our throwback this year is going to be fun. Like who's that special guest is good.
And you're talking about for PopCon.
No, for Bamboozle.
Oh, for
Like
Bamboozle.
you wanted to talk Bamboozle. We're talking Bamboozle.
Yeah, no, I
The,
think
the lineup is right now in pencil is very strong, and it's going to we've been working on this for 6 months. We're scouring sites. We're looking at we have a checklist of all the things that we want from a site. Because remember, we want to come back and stay. This isn't a one-off. This is about like taking our flag, coming back with a vengeance and just planting it into the ground and saying, we are back. And as for the animosity, no, it's just that I deserve the respect. And it's like if I'm walking on the field again, the other guys need to know where I am, because I am not afraid of them. I think they're afraid of me. And the reason why I go crazy is because somebody has to do it. I'm the bad boy of promoters, I guess, because I say it as it is. I call it as it is. And I'm a jockey on a horse, and I just have a job, and I got to win it. And that's my motto. And it's like, when I was coming back and people were talking, it's like, yo, let's talk, but back it up. I'm backing it up right now.
Yeah, I don't think anyone should bet against you. And that's one of the things when I first saw you posting it that I wanted to have you on and talk to you about, because I'm that same way. I think let's just forget all the BS and just tell it how we think it is, and not worry about all that stuff, which is, it rubs some people the wrong way. But it's if you're speaking the truth, and sometimes that's your own truth, right? When we say speaking
Right.
the truth. And you just stand behind what you believe in, I think it's all going to work out. And so I think, I love what you're doing. I'm excited for Bamboozle to come back in 2 years, and I'm hoping I'll be at PopCon. It's right in my backyard. I grew up in Marlboro, New Jersey. Had some good times at Toms River North when I played basketball. So I think
that's a nice arena, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great event. But why is it like? Is it really a competition? I mean, are you competing against others? Because unless you're in the same weekend, if you have an event, people are going to want to go to it. They're not going to say, I guess in some respects, you have to say, hey, how much money do I have? Can I go to all of these events? But are you really competing with a lot of people?
Not so much with where we are in terms of pop, but like you only have Ray Shremmerd and Jaden announced right now, but there is TV stars, there are movie stars, there's influencers, there's pop bands. It's all being put into there's 2 gyms there, so we're utilizing both gyms. There's going to be 2 stages. There's going to be a parents area. There's going to be all of that, and PopCon has to be an experience. It has to be more than just a 3-hour concert in that arena. It's like, that's what, nobody's having classes on how to become a social media star. Well, you can come to the high school that weekend and you can learn how the other kids did it, because they're going to be there talking about it. And that's what, these Instagram stars, they can't play music. They're not going to go up there and dance like a TikTok video. They can't do that. It's more one-on-one experience, and that's what we want to provide. And like I said, it's like right now, Ray Shremmerd, people, they were 4 years ago. Those dudes are probably still like, 24 years old, and their past 2 albums had mega hits. Do you think this next album isn't going to have bangers on it? Sure it is. And then they're going to be all over Z100, and everybody, is going to be talking about Jaden and Ray Shremmerd, because Jaden has more stuff coming out. He's got a new deluxe album. He's got a lot of stuff happening between now and April.
Is there going to be a lot of interaction with these people, or is it just going to be, hey, I'm up on stage talking about and presenting?
No, like the super VIP or platinum or whatever they're calling it has you're going to be able to eat lunch and catering with the bands. The big guys won't be there because they're not even in the building yet, but most of the undercard, will be there because they're going to have to load in at that time. But they're going to have lunch catered by the windmill, and they're going to be able to eat with the bands for an hour and then an hour and a half exclusively, and that'll be Saturday before the doors even open, and then they get to have front row access to the stage.
The windmill, man. You're bringing back some names here. You mentioned Birch Hill earlier. Birch Hill was the first place I ever saw the Nerds play, and I followed the Nerds all around New Jersey to Trade Winds and Bar A and all.
You want a funny story?
Sure.
You remember how the Birch Hill lost its liquor license?
I don't. Was it underage?
No, the owner of the Birch Hill socked the lead singer of the Nerds in the balls.
Really?
And ABC was there and pressed charges because he was drunk, and they got his liquor license. But him punching the lead singer or one of the Nerds is what led to the Birch Hill losing its liquor license. And to be honest, for the Birch Hill to explode with the emo scene, because every band that was even on the Warped Tour played the Birch Hill.
Yeah.
I mean,
now it's like housing and country club, I think.
Yeah, but that was the wild, wild west, man. That place. Whew.
And then you had Trade Winds, which you mentioned now is all housing on the beach.
Yeah, that was always like, we always 18 and up. They were like, strict in rules and, so everything there was kind of like, I remember like Billy Idol was the craziest we did there. And then the Whalers got arrested in the parking lot for smoking weed. Like, what cop would go arrest the Whalers in their tour bus? Well, we had that happen in Seabright.
Not in 2021, probably.
No, not at all.
Definitely not. So how did you get in? Let's go back to the beginning. How did you get into all of this?
Well, I started as an intern with the New Kids on the Block, and I worked there for like a year with them. And then from there, I went in the same building. Billy Joel had a job, so I went to Billy Joel, and then Billy Joel kind of went on a hiatus and to focus on his boating. They sent me to the management company of Nirvana, and I was like, well, what am he just died. Like, what do they need me to do? So I went there and I started working with Nirvana, and my boss at the time was a very, very big manager, and Andrew Ellis, one of the best agents there is, was a young agent coming up, and he would always call my boss, and I had to put him on hold, and sometimes my boss wouldn't pick up because he was too busy, and like being on hold and entertaining a lot of the young agents and assistants, I built relationships. So when I had to go because my father was sick, I left New York City and management and I stayed in the business by promoting. Friends were giving me shows because they wanted me to stay in the business because I worked so hard. And I started to have a little bit of an ear, and I started to chase bands, and I linked up with Stan Levinstone and worked with him for a bunch of years. I started skate and surf. I booked Asbury Park, and from the dingy days of Beirut by the Sea to the Wrestler movie to where it is today, I've been through 3 developers there, and I just hung my hat up and walked away from there. At that point, they were with Live Nation, so I didn't have to do the day-to-day. I sold my company to Live Nation, and then I decided to walk away in 2012 because of creative differences with the direction of Bamboozle and blah, 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 blah. And I'm here now.
Would you go back and do it all again, sell, or would you have kept it and not sold and tried to move on? What do you think you would do if you can go back?
If I could go back, I probably should have went with Paul Tilley from Golden Voice, and I think he would have been a better mentor for me in terms of the festival and and direction. And at Live Nation, it was kind of like getting thrown into the wolves. While Delsner and I still love each other. He was amazing. Him and I did some great stuff, and we had a lot of success there. We really ramped up the New York office. That we took over venues. We started to really expand, and I signed a lot of bands to their touring. And that's kind of the gist, I guess, of it all. But it's been an experience. If I could change it again, I'd probably do that, or I would have taken the Warner Brothers offer because they were making an offer to buy the festival, and it was a lot more. But I knew I needed to be in a promotion company. I just didn't think Live Nation was going to be as cannibalistic as it was.
Yeah. Well, coming back, you got a fresh start, which is going to be exciting. New Jersey's got a couple of good festivals already. You got See Here Now, and now you got the Barefoot Country. That's they're both in the South, right over by
Well,
Wild.
See Here took over our location in Asbury,
Oh,
and God bless them because that was a struggle. Beach concerts are not fun. And I don't think fans prefer them. So that's why when we're coming back, we knew like we're not going to a beach.
yeah.
And we have to find the right infrastructure for what we're going to do because again, we want to play. We're not playing this year because it's our 20th anniversary. We're coming back on our 20th anniversary. The lights are going back on. It's like, dusting off stuff, even, skate decks that we have autographed by bands from Bamboozle. We lost a lot of our memorabilia in the hurricane in my basement in my house. I lost so much stuff, but, we have some of the coolest stuff that we had for Bamboozle, and, bringing it back is something I think is the timing is right with where the scene is right now and the lack of, full chord and Furnace. What the one Furnace was that the one down in that Mike Zemer did down in wasn't Furnace Fest last weekend?
I know Mike. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did, but
Remember his
those are like the festivals. Those guys celebrate. They're the true. Warped Tour, rock pattern. Bamboozle's not going to be like that. We never were. As much as we had 10 big names in the scene, there were 12 to 15 hip hop kids nobody knew about. There were 10 to 15, from Owl City to, program music.
I like Owl City.
Yeah, that was a band that got fire for us. I mean, we were there. He didn't even have management. We were talking to him direct. He was kind of a strange cat. It was like 2 a.m. We'd get emails, and that's why I think he called himself an owl. Straight up late.
You mentioned you're doing like site visits, all that. Location, I imagine, is going to be important for this because PopCon, you probably think there's going to be a little bit more people traveling close. But I think for Bamboozle, you're going to have people who are going to come in and travel from all over to come to this festival. Do you keep that in mind as you're trying to figure this out to make it easy for people who aren't? If you're in New Jersey, you can drive an hour or so; it's no big deal. But if someone wants to come from out of state, does that factor into where you guys are trying to hold this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're doing our due diligence. I can tell you that. I mean, we've been to seven different sites and configurations, and we have, like I said, we have a pretty strong checklist of what the experience needs to be. And kudos to Barefoot down in Wildwood. That was amazing. I did Kenny Chesney on the beach there. I kept preaching to everybody we should do a country festival there. I just don't know country, but congratulations to them. That event is phenomenal. And I See Here Now, ACL, there's not, it's headliner and that and some tchotchkes, it looks like. But I'm not a fan of See Here Now.
They have had some pretty good names come through.
Yeah, because if a photographer takes photos of all of them and then convinces them to play his festival, kudos. I mean, great. You can have Asbury Park. Like damn, that was a great time. We had a great run there, but time to move on. I love
I'm-
everybody still in Asbury Park. I don't know if they love me, but I still love them.
I got Tortuga Music Festival coming up next month. I'm actually going to be on the Rock Boat and Michael Fronte's cruise back to back, and then I come home Friday and I go right to Tortuga Music Festival in Fort Lauderdale Beach, which is mostly country. They have a few acts, but it's tough. It's hard on the beach, out in the sun, 3 days in a row.
Well, See Her Now is only 2. Wild was 4, but that's not a beach. That
Yeah.
is like paved sand lots. That sand is, I mean, you couldn't even, we were driving semis on the beach without like ramps or anything. So that beach is a beast. So I'm sure they did their homework. They do another festival down in, I think, North Carolina.
Yeah,
That team.
Carolina Country Music Festival is my sister.
Right. So, like for us, PopCon is squatting on Bamboozle 2023 dates because it's 2022 that it's playing. So now PopCon will move to October in 2023, and Bamboozle will slide in to the May run.
Right around my birthday. May 2nd is my birthday.
Well, yeah, we're going to be 3 days behind you.
A big birthday bash.
You know what we got though? Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, yeah, it's gonna be.
We got that Friday night. You don't think I got something brewing?
Friday night, Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, we gonna go Latin.
They all laugh at us. Cinco de Mayo is one of those holidays that the outsiders kind of laugh at us for celebrating. I forget why. I don't know. There was some. Who knows? But Tortuga is on the beach. I've been there since the start, about 7-8 years ago.
That's not the beach that we have in Asbury Park.
No, it's not the same. But the reason I bring it up is the first year I was walking from one stage to the next with nothing. It was walking on sand. And then after like 2 or 3 years, they put like a paveway for it. Realized, look, you need to make it a much better experience for these, for the attendees and the fans that want to go. You have a lot of experience in the festival thing. As you're planning PopCon and Bamboozle, what's been the hardest thing for you to accomplish as you're trying to plan this?
COVID. I mean, PopCon was supposed to happen earlier, and we had to cancel the one in Vegas because the mandates were you have to be vaccinated. And to be honest, the majority of our fan base isn't even old enough to be vaccinated, at the point that we had this. So, there's a lot of factors that went into each one of them, direction of where it's going. Like, PopCon, like I said, like there wasn't going to be 5 guys up there dancing. It's BTS never even had a club run. They went right to arenas and stadiums. So, and they're your true boy band right now. The other guys are just, projects put together. But, it's a different day. It's a different, time. Like, so Bamboozle's a lot harder because remember, we're trying to go forward. And, I'm a little bit older than I was, so my year's probably a little bit different, and that's why we're bringing in, the best in the business to help us navigate through, probably I'd say the middle of the lineup, because we've got the headliners and we know our top 3 just because we've had 20 years of relationships with bands, and we didn't even have to ask. They were like, "Well, are we doing it?" And it was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, and also one of the great things about festivals as you move forward and you have years of experience in putting it on is you have the people that no one ever knew about, and now they're huge. So you want to find those people too that 5 years from now they're going to be like, "Yeah, I remember when I saw them at Bamboozle, on this side thing, and it was me and 13 people because everyone else was over here." But they kind of hit it big.
Right. See, that's our sweet spot. Like that's the nucleus of what Bamboozle was. Is we were taking guys from the second stage and moving them to main stage. Bands had trajectories that made a lot of made a lot of sense for us. So, when we brought back the iBook Bamboozle contest, because, obviously our core kids that still know who we are the ones that are submitting. A lot of kids don't even know who we are, but as soon as that one headliner announcement rocks, you're going to see, a bonanza of new faces, and be honest, expect stupidity on our social medias, because it's going to bring, a different type of feel.
Yeah, I mean, you're about a year and a half out. When can people expect to hear a headliner?
If we stay on track and the tours of the headliners stay intact, the latest I would say is June next year.
Okay.
The latest. But I think, we're not going to announce it like every other festival does.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a game. We're going to make the fans unlock the we're going to give them one headliner, and they're going to have to unlock the other two, and it's going to take them a couple weeks.
I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see if they can unlock it, and then if the timer goes, they're not going to get it.
But one of the things I, am disappointed that I didn't get. There's so many bands out there that kind of broken up and taken a break that I didn't get to. You're expecting to have maybe a reunion?
Oh, come on! It wouldn't be Bamboozle without it. That's something we really can't talk about right now. But
there's bands like, for me, it was like Yellow Card and the Somerset, which I think is back now. I thought they're playing shows again, and Hot Shell Ray, I thought kind of left.
All right, you want? I'm going to give you guys one band right now, just because I need help getting them. It's been this like joke with me and their manager. They're Forever the Sickest Kids.
Forever the Sickest Kids.
Right? I haven't seen them in a while, and they charted very high in the iBook, right, Jess? They were in the top probably 10.
Okay.
So calling them, it's and their manager now has a successful bar for buffalo wings.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, you can't call them during business, so that's a fun one we're working on. I'll give that one away.
Is that the guy in Buffalo? Iron?
No, it's Robbie he's down there. I think they were part of Wingstop for some reason. Okay. He might have been in business. I don't know. He's the man though. So yeah. So Forever the Sickest Kids. That's one I hope we get. I'm using this. Hopefully, maybe they'll see this and say, "Oh, John really wants us."
Yeah,
they popped up high. So yeah, see, bands like that are going to be there. Hopefully with them, but if not, there's a couple. I don't think any of the top headliners will be reunions.
Yeah, I always like to do Mount Rushmore. I'm big on Mount Rushmore, so I want you to give me a Mount Rushmore. I'll let you pick which one. It could be the 4 bands that you wish would come back. It could be your 4 favorite bands of all time. Just give me a Mount Rushmore. 4, a group of 4 that you. I guess let's go for your 4 favorite 4 bands. Doesn't have to be people you want at Bamboozle. Just you grew up listening to music. Who are your 4 favorite bands?
Well, New Edition would take all 5 of them, but actually there's 6 of them. So New Edition would have to be on one.
Okay.
So influential to me. I would have to say the Beastie Boys, because they took me under their wing and let me just be their, teach me how to be their guy. I had an incredible relationship with all of them, and that's somebody I wish I still had around. And probably the last one would be Drake, just because I came up with Drake. I started with Drake, and I went to bat for Drake at Live Nation. They didn't want to pay him the money, and then I had to give him a private jet because he was playing Massachusetts earlier in the day. So I really cranked the Drake thing up, and I would say the Jonas Brothers, but I don't think I like them much right now.
No,
No, they left me out of their documentary because Live Nation didn't know what I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, we started with those boys. Those boys they're gonna end at Bamboozle. Because what
Started,
goes up comes down, right?
like Drake said, started from the bottom. Is that?
That's it. Now we here.
Yeah. Where are you in New Jersey right now? Where do you live?
Our office, we were going to work out of New York, but COVID kind of destroyed the office space. Since there wasn't going to be any staff, they let the office space go. So we had to build an office here in Lawrence Harbor, New Jersey.
Okay.
So we work out of the basement of my condo, so that way, we can be close to New York and close to the Bamboozle.
Bruce Springsteen or Bon Jovi?
Oh man, I wouldn't take either of those. They could go to see her now, please. Next question.
That's the face of New Jersey music, though, isn't it? Is there someone else? Who am I missing?
No, it's just, yeah, I like some of their songs, but from behind the scenes, seeing it all, no thanks. Sorry.
That's
Just
all
not
right.
me.
It's not everyone's got
Not me.
their different tastes and
Oh,
what they
no,
like.
I had to battle that Bruce Springsteen thing for years at the Pony. Oh my God, I was getting hate mail from people because I didn't want to book local bands. I wanted to book bands that nobody knew, like Maroon 5. Oh my God, no.
All right, we'll move on.
Yeah, that's a bad
From there. Give me a name of someone who you would love to play, but they're not. I mean, they're not going to play. They're just way too big. But if you could pick any one band to play, budget didn't matter. Do you have someone in mind?
Brand New. That's it.
That's
I
it.
think Brand New right now.
Okay.
That's my answer. I know it's those are my friends. So, I can't wait to see them when they do come back, if they come back. But, I've tried to get them back for Bamboozle 2023. It's not time yet. So that one's out. But yes, if I could land anybody this year, it would have been Brand New.
All right. What's gonna make Bamboozle a success? What would that look like? A successful festival?
Well, based on our headliners, that's kind of the marker that's set right now. So, I think with the headliners we have, it's north of 30 a day, 30,000. The site matters so much, right? Like you're talking about Tortuga and everything, like there's so many factors on our checklist that the right site has to have. So, it's just it's got to be right for us to succeed. Like we can't mess this up. It's a one and done if we, have issues and a bad experience, But if we kill it, and what would it look like? It would look like, younger generation, sitting down watching the older bands and seeing the older fans see some of the younger bands that they would never go see. They would never go to, Irving Plaza to see that. But if there's enough buzz and everybody's right about it, let's go eat a cheesesteak and sit and watch the show.
I'll listen to it. I love live music so much. It doesn't, to me, you put me out, put me in front of people I've never heard of. And I'm a headliner kind of guy. So I do gravitate towards that. But man, every festival I've ever been to, every event, I'm always finding new people that I like, and they end up on my phone and in my playlist for when I'm listening to music. I saw Jonas Brothers and Kelsey Ballerini, and Jordan McGraw opened up for them.
Yeah.
He's got this, Jordan. He's got this new song, McConaughey.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan. I love this song. I think he'd be a great addition to any music festival. And I didn't even realize it was Dr. Phil's son.
I'm going to try to put some country into Bamboozle. I will say that. That's something that kids are gonna be like, what? But I think we'll have some buzz with what we're doing and the style that we're going for.
Well, I can help you out possibly. I know some people who know some country bands, and then I have pretty good
I
country
might,
knowledge myself, so we can talk about that.
I'm studying hick hop right now. It's called. Did you know
Hip
that?
hop.
Hick hop. It's like, this new scene of rap country, and like calling themselves hick hop, not hip hop.
There was a
That's cool stuff though. So keep your eyes on that. We're studying that.
yeah, I have some of it in my phone. I can't remember the name.
Oh, the Wax. You got the big guy. We did him. He's got, I don't remember his name, but oh my God, we've had so many recent looks at the hip hop world and who's popping. And that's funny. I'm gonna have to spend time convincing them to play Bamboozle.
Yeah,
Like I'll spend more time on convincing them than I would spend getting somebody in the 5 slot on the main stage.
yeah. I
So
think it's to me, going to an event, it just takes that one. I think it's smart to have that kind of stuff because I'll tell you why. I went to Tortuga Music Festival because Sister Hazel was playing, not a country
yeah.
band, and
No, yeah.
Michael Fronte. And it was 2 days on the beach for $99. I'm like, I don't like country, but I'm going to go see Michael Fronte and Sister Hazel for 2 days on the beach. I have not missed one day of Tortuga since. I'm about as big a country fan as I am anything else, and I love pop and I love punk, and I like hip hop and all of that. But country for me is about it's I go to more country shows than I go to anything else. So it's the importance of having the variety of things to bring those people in to say, look, they just don't know. They just might not know that this is what they like because they haven't been exposed to it yet. And so that's what I think the genius of having, even in Tortuga, I think Vanilla Ice is playing this year and Bare Naked Ladies are playing, just to get a couple people on because people will go to these events just to see this one person and they'll come out finding, 2 or 3 other people that they really like.
Well, that's what set Bamboozle where it was. I mean, you wouldn't just find two. I mean, it was funny. Like I remember, like our guest list at one point was every A&R kid in the business. It was just like, oh my God, they finally figured it out. And coming out of Asbury Park with Skate and Surf and Bamboozle, and then when we were at the Meadowlands, it was like an A&R. I mean, you had Tom Wally running around. You had John from oh man, all the John Janik was running around. You had everybody there, and that was the coolest part is seeing, the festival become a haven of artist development. Like that's the biggest thing I would say we did right.
Yeah, it's what I love about a lot of these festivals is it's just get me there and then let's figure out who I'm going to want to listen to from there. And I think you'll find a lot of new fans if you pick the right band or two, you're going to find a whole new group of fans, and it could take off. And it could be from that bottom level too. It doesn't always have to be from the top of the music festival period. I know we were Bamboozle heavy today, but the PopCon X, those tickets are on sale currently, correct?
Yeah, we're in a pre-sale with the weekend and the VIPs, and the regular ones will drop on Black Friday with the rest of the lineup.
Okay, so PopCon X with thepopconx.com for pre-sale tickets now. Keep an eye out Black Friday for the lineup drop and the rest of the tickets. Bamboozle. We'll worry about that next year.
You guys will see something. Hopefully, I think there'll be a drop at some point once we announce the venue. We'll drop some of the coolest package you could ever see for Bamboozle 2023. So I think if you love Bamboozle, stay on the lookout for a drop.
Yeah, when do you have to pick a venue? Is there?
We're there. We know where it is. It's just a process, going through with the city and the authorities. But we've chosen our destination, and we're ready. We're just we're a signature away from announcing it. We're hoping to do that by Thanksgiving.
That's it's here, man. It's already end of October. It's the
Yeah.
year is going to fly by like crazy.
Yeah, but once we announce the location, the new website will drop. Then you'll see, all the commercials and the bands talking about Bamboozle, what it meant to them. It's a very good rollout.
Yeah, I think your social media team's done a great job so far of kind of
Yeah, yeah.
teasing and keeping keeping interest in what's going on. Which it's not easy to do. You're talking about you're a year and a half out. Everyone who's going to these things already has 6 other events that they're going to between now and then. So it's not that easy to keep someone's attention and get them interested in something
No.
that's far away. So I think you guys have done a good job, and certainly the PopCon X will keep it going and kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
We'll let you out of here on the same question we let everyone out of the Wolff Den. You can spend a day with one person in the world. It could be anyone, as long as they're alive and you're not related to them. Who would you like to spend a day with, and what would you guys do? We're going to do some outreach. We've already done outreach. We're going to make it happen for some of our guests. We have a long list. We've had some outrageous answers. Somebody wanted to hang out with Vladimir Putin. We're obviously not going to be able to make that happen. But we've had some very attainable guests. So let me know, who is it and what are you guys doing?
I guess it would be Timothy what is it, Chalamet? Yeah, Chalamet. I think I would hope that he has a chocolate river in his new Wonka movie, and I think I would like to jump in that.
Timothy Chalamet.
Have you seen him as Wonka?
I have not. No.
Holy moly!
Can be good.
It's finally we got a good one.
I'm excited for the new Ghostbusters movie. Are you excited for the new Ghostbusters
Absolutely
movie?
not.
No?
No, that's they've already ruined that franchise. Wonka, they took it down a dark path and it somehow got accolades, but this one's going to be real good.
See if when is that coming out? This year?
No, 2023.
Right in time for
Bamboozle March.
All right. Well, we're gonna put them on the list and see what we can do. I don't know about the Chocolate River, but we'll certainly do our best to ask. Really appreciate your time. Looking forward to seeing how everything plays out and comes together. And I plan on being in Tom's River in 22 and being wherever you're going to be in 23 personally, and hopefully Ticket Time Machine can get involved in some way as well.
Love your stuff, man. Keep it going. It's awesome. Glad to be here. You got the first interview. Congrats.
Yeah. We'll get you back on as we get closer.
Yeah, I got to jump on another call, brother. So thank you so much.
Have a great day, everyone.
Everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, John.